अब हम जब गंदगी करेंगे तभी तो गंदगी होगी। अब उस गंदगी को हम किसी चीज़ से अगर यूज कर सकते हैं, जैसे बना दिया हमने, कोई चीज़ बना दी तो मार्केट में किसी के काम आएगी, सक्सेस हो जाएगा वो कतरन।
The katra or waste at Doodlage studio in the Lado Sarai area in southwest Delhi is all too precious. A clothing brand and design house, Doodlage is a room full of waste material that can be turned into something of use. The belief here is simple, that we don't need more new clothes.
Jumpsuit with bottom embroidery is the pastel blue one, no? Huh?
Yeah.
A philosophy that challenges the typical notions of fast fashion, and one that this design house upholds with considerable pride.
The problem in the fashion industry starts from the fact that it's based on a linear fashion model. So today about 73% of garment wastages go into landfills because there is lack of ways of reusing the fabrics and the garments that we are currently working with. So everything today is based, 73% of it at least, is based on take, make and waste economy, which means that you create more and more fabrics, fresh fabrics, make garments out of it, sell those garments, and then what happens?
It was just this line of questioning that led Kriti Tula, co-founder at Doodlage, to the problem of textile waste in India and the creation of a design house that would be rooted in consciously making fashion pieces out of wasted textile, or what we know as upcycling.
There's always a garment that comes out of a rectangular piece of fabric. Then at cutting processes, there's a lot of wastages that happen. So I could observe that on both a small scale unit or a large scale unit. And that is when I realized that once we start working with there is so much already that has been produced and that exists, that it's about time that we start thinking about using what is already there.
Textiles is considered one of the most polluting industries in the world today. In India, it's the third largest source of waste after plastic, paper and compost.
For India, it's not just the garment waste that we have to be concerned about, it's the production waste that we have to be concerned about. We're still one of the largest exporters of both fabrics and garments in the world. So all of the wastages that we're converting at that level is still something that we're not being able to deal with at the amount that we're producing garments at. So about every production unit is able to produce about 16 to 20% of fabric wastages in every process. If you convert these into number for a large scale unit, which makes about 1.5 lakh pieces a day, they're producing about 45,000 meters of fabric wastages on a daily basis.
The environmental implications of these numbers are startling, an endemic situation that is only getting compounded every day by the surging demand and use of chemicals, the need for landfill space, energy consumption and wastage of water.
In 2015 alone, the entire fashion industry used up about 79 billion metric cubes of water. So that's huge. And a single t-shirt takes up about 2,720 liters of water, which is as much as most adults would drink in 3 years, and that is a single t-shirt. Then of course there are toxics that are leached in the production process itself, which then impacts the communities around which factories come up. The Mika study says that India is trashing about 1 million tons of textiles every year, and most of this will end up in a landfill somewhere.
Going back to an age-old tradition almost inherent to the country to work everything old into new and usable avatars, brands like Doodlage are trying to introduce the concept of reuse back into fashion vocabulary.
So we'll add like little bit of embroidery wherever the problems are, and this can be done at different stages depending on what kind of garment we're making. Once all of this fabric comes into this studio, we start thinking about what kind of designs can bring all of them together. We start fixing the fabrics in itself so that they can actually be used further to create the clothes that we work with. Step 2 after this would be whatever is our wastages, we panel things that can be paneled together and make more yardages out of it and create our second round of production, which is always supports the existing line that we work with. Post this level, we still have a certain amount of fabric shreds that are available. We then start creating textures out of it, which go into our bag and our home collection. I have told Anchal to put the 5 pieces in production first because dark story with Anita. Whatever is left over after the bag and the home collection is then sent to be processed into paper. This paper is what is now making our stationery products. And now our next steps are actually to think about what to do with post-consumer wastages.
In India, Doodlage could be considered an expensive brand, with garments ranging between $50 to $100.
All the fabrics that we purchase is purchased. A lot of times we're always questioned as to, but these are throwaway fabrics, you're not probably paying for it, then why the garments are expensive, etc. But we buy all of this fabric. And all of this is available in kgs to pick up. And it's, of course, much cheaper than what is available as a fresh fabric, and we buy it for 1/3 the price of an actual fabric. What we save there is the amount of margins that we actually use to fix the fabric. So the math is very real. And to be able to create any sustainable business, it's important to understand that. You've got me really kind of feeling.
Presenting Doodlage. Don't turn it off. Since its inception in 2012, Doodlage has been showcasing every year at the Lakme Fashion Week. Don't turn it off. The premier biannual event in India, reinforcing the belief that trend-based fashion is not the only way to remain viable or interesting.
It's not pretty to go into those godowns with like heaps and heaps of fabric wastages, and everybody would just question you at every step that बाकी सब तो ठीक है, आप सीधा fabric क्यों नहीं ले लेते? It's like, and to explain that, and these are people who have seen so much fabric around them and so much fabric wastages around that they just keep questioning you at every level as to why you do what you do. And at some point we'd just given up that it's okay, like it's okay for not understanding what we do and why we do, but it's about how we want to do it and how we want to create the products that we do.